Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. So we're here for our final quest out here in the docks. So again, we're in the Sharn docks. To access this, you can either head, if you happen to have the boarding pass, you can go right there, or you can head there directly through Sharn itself. So the next quest here is bestowed by Warden, and again, the final quest of the chain. Now, this quest is quite a bit longer, and as I'm not as familiarized myself with this chain, it's been a long time since I've run this one. I definitely, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have Zebub be taking point in this, going through, and we are going to be showing just a faster method in order for completion. A nice walkthrough, that way we can get you through the quest, get you the experience, and the loot. I do, however, recommend taking the time to actually explore at some point, as there's just a lot of rooms. But if you are exploring, take it slow. Again, there is a very difficult quest, even at level. So here we go. Alright, so just like every other quest, we're going to step in. We're going to use that hireling. Get ourselves some buffs.
Now, if I might interject, there is one spell that is super useful in this quest, and it's some form of magic missile immunity, because that is the number one spell they're going to cast in this whole quest.
Yeah, so our Night Shield is definitely going to be handy here.
On top of that, if you have any type of spell or attack that affects constructs, that is going to be preferred, like Metal Line Bypass if you're a archer, or some type of metal bypass if you're an artificer.
Yeah, the for them that would be the adamantine bypass. So
Yeah,
some form of adamantine damage reduction bypass.
first
Alright.
things first, I have Dorothy here. This is somewhat of an escort mission of sorts. As you see, Doris is unable to sass right now. She is not herself. Whoever talks to her, she will follow them. So it's preferred to pick someone who isn't going to be in the fray the whole time. And in this room, this little faucet thing, this fish, will become interactable. This is important a little bit later into the quest, but first, we have to come to this door, and, oh, we have to rendezvous with Doris first. There we go.
So another thing I want to point out, you'll notice here we got a note. Now you can do this, and as you'll see, you will get journals that you can find throughout the quest. So again, you can stop to grab them and just gain some information if you want.
Now, interestingly enough about this quest, there's two main methods to do it. You have the speed and kill method, and then you have the stop and read method. Stop and read is overall going to be quicker for you and more precise, as you'll learn the exact location of where your objectives are and exactly how to complete them. The kill one is better for XP, but it takes much longer. From a little bit of experimenting on my part, it took us about an hour to complete the quest. We did get a great amount of XP, but it still took about an hour.
Yeah, so this is why for this one here, we aren't going to go through and do a full run, simply because you really don't want to sit here and watch for an hour. And if you do, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm actually going to let Valagar talk to her because she
Alright.
has skill checks that we need.
So, yeah, what you're going to want to do is you'll talk to the captain here. And again, it has some difficult options. So, because our character is quite prepped for that, we
What
can...
these options actually do is prevent a fight in this room, as she spawns a couple of enemies and you have to fight her.
Yeah. So, by using the skill check, you just pass that there.
Now, if at any point in the quest Doris gets stuck, which she does have a tendency to do, this lever here is great for that.
It'll
Just
just
like detour or
teleport
have,
her.
yep, it'll teleport her right back to here if she gets stuck.
And then, of course, continue back and go on.
Come on, Doris. I believe she'll teleport down with us.
Let's hope so, otherwise you'll be heading back real quick.
Now, this is a very beautiful quest. I love the scenery they have out the windows and the way they designed everything.
It's the typical underwater laboratory.
Now, here comes the first bit that requires a little bit of attention and a little bit of reading. And there's a little daily calendar here. Now, it'll tell you what day, what day it is. So today is Zol, and that becomes important later on as you'll find a itinerary or a calendar in one of the offices that'll tell you the schedule of the person we're looking for. And it'll tell you like she's here on this day or here on that day, and that'll make it easier to avoid the extras and just get what we need. Now, if you're going for a full clear, in some of these hallways you'll see pads like this. If you don't disable the security system, on these pads, a shield guardian will spawn, and will continue to spawn until you disable the security system. Just like that.
But as you can see, they're actually some of the weaker enemies that will spawn in, so it's more of an annoyance at that point than an actual hindrance.
Now, what you want to do right off the bat is you want to head right this way, heading up to the north, and you want to go to the lab assistant office.
So if you're actually looking at the map here, it'll point out where everything is.
It can be a little overwhelming. It is best to have a hireling, but I forgot to summon mine. But this quest, unlike some other quests in DDO, the map for you is already completely discovered and uncovered. And if you highlight over the little purple dots, it'll actually tell you what is what. Disabling the security system will also prevent that from happening, as that can happen a couple times in this quest.
Alright. Alright, so yeah, as he was mentioning, the first one you're going to want to head to is the lab assistant's office. Just over here.
Now, the shield guardians can't go very far. They have a very short rubber band range, which is kind of handy. It means that you can prevent getting red alert in this dungeon somewhat. It can still be done, but it's a little bit harder.
Alright, and I do want to point out, as you'll notice, we do still have our event going on. It is still just day 2 for us. If you watch some of my previous videos, you'll notice I say day 2 a lot, and that is because I do a lot more than one quest a day. Alright, so here we are. We'll continue past. Off to the lab. also notice with Doris, it is quite annoying, especially if you have her following you and you are ranged type characters. More often than not, she'll get in your way, so it's good before your fights to actually just tell her to stand back, go on ahead, coming back for her. It's a little bit easier there. Alright,
Now
so
over here, you'll find the weekly schedule of the assistant. And we're looking for Zol. Zol, research herbs and chemicals in the library. So from there, it tells us we want to make our way to the library.
alright, and I'll just bring
Luckily,
that up here as well to show you guys.
yep, luckily that is the room right before us.
So right here, weekly schedule. So it's saying, so you just look for which day, Zol, and library. So as you can see, a lot of different days, galley, workshop, alchemy lab. Could send you all over the quest. But as they mentioned, it's right here. Oh, and a bit of leg for me. Alright, so I'm going to tell Doris to wait there, and then we need to head to the library right through this door here. Now, as you notice, they really don't know how to walk through the door, so anything blast is kind of nice on these reclosing doors. Alright, here we go.
I'm going to let Valagar handle this one, as I believe there might be another skill check.
So yeah, again, once you're in here, you just want to talk to them. And as you see, it jumps right to a fight. But as you can also see, oh, they fixed these.
Technically, you can jump up on the secondary higher bookshelves if you have enough jump.
Alright, so once you actually fight them, you can ask them where the abandoned experiments wing is, and where you can find the doctor, and everything else here. But initially, you want to talk to them and get the storage key and the code.
The abandoned experiments wing has an underground elevator that leads into the central laboratory. However, he warns you to be on your guard. A dangerous, listed inventor uses
Alright. So at this point, we need to head to the abandoned experiments wing. If I'm correct.
Yes, indeed.
Alright.
So, reading just lets you shortcut it. It makes it really quick, cuts it down phenomenally. You don't need the code, necessarily. All the code does is it prevents us from having to play a guessing game and dialogue options, and possibly fighting more things we don't need to.
Now, I forget, do we actually gotta remember the code, or does it just automatically give it to us?
We do have to remember the code, but it'll pop up with 3 dialogue options, I believe you only have to remember the last two or the first three.
Alright,
I
so
believe it's a 6-digit code.
I think it was, but I don't actually fully remember what it was. Yeah, not, So there's our code, 02492, so just 02492. Make that easier for us.
And now, we got pretty lucky. From the library, it's just a straight shot to the abandoned wing.
So yeah, it's simple in theory, this quest, but again, as you see, like, it can, just due to the fact that it does send you to random ones based on what day of the week, you do just got to be careful and just go slow. That's the best advice for this quest. So here's our experiment wing. So again, click on the door, and here it is, 02492.
Now,
And it'll port us right in.
You definitely want to write this in party chat, as when he uses the door, that doesn't let me use the door. I still need to know the code.
So yeah, once somebody figures out that code, like as he was mentioning, just pass her along.
Now, this is the part of the quest that sometimes is a little difficult for people, and it's because of how narrow the hallways can be and how twisty and turny it can. It can get a little maze-like. But now we are officially in the second half of the quest, nearing the end.
Alright, so as you see, we want to make this first right, heading north. Immediate left, we'll just have some enemies here. Ooh, and another champion for us.
And I believe, actually, we just need to head straight this way. It has been a little bit since I ran this quest myself. Along the sides will probably be your additional read the journals of Dr. Vulcan, and read the journals of Dr. Lorok. Here you're probably going to want some type of acid resist or acid absorption if you can.
So let's get that hireling back up. We'll get a nice little loot chest here for us as well. Oh no. Of course. So as she was mentioning, once we came in, which was down the side there, we do just want to head through the path. Okay. And let's get Doris to follow us again.
Now, me and some of the people I quest with, we kind of joke that this dungeon is haunted, and sometimes these levers, they'll move on their own. Like this pathway opened up all on its own. This lever will progress further into the quest. To unlock it, we'll need to head down this path to the south.
Intruder detected in Fathom headquarters. Sending security to apprehend the suspect.
Now, until you disable the security system, that message will pop up on screen throughout the entirety of the quest. It can get a little annoying, but once you're down here, it doesn't have any effect on you.
Other than the annoyance of the repeating message.
Yeah, but you can just turn off the volume.
Alright, so let's give a top up heal here.
Intruder detected in Fathom headquarters. Sending security to apprehend the suspect.
Now, further down that path is one of the lever options. Right here is another one. We'll take care of this one first before heading any further. You can occasionally get stuck on some of the lips and some of the turns. All you have to do is just jump to get out of it, though.
Cleared experiment A. Inside, piles of inert warfare.
Here you got a collectible, one of Dr. Lorax's journals.
And then a beautiful puzzle.
Yep, and I'm going to leave this to Valagar, as I myself am not a fan of this puzzle. It can be a little confusing at times. You do have a notice to give you a little bit of information about the puzzle, but nothing all too helpful.
So basically in here we gotta light up both the blue and the yellow square, avoiding the rare red ones. So here we got, as you see, we've got to talk to Doris.
Sending security to apprehend the suspect.
Step away from the machine. So yeah, there we go. Reverse the soul splitter.
Perhaps it's one of Fathom's first.
So we want to move it from the blue to the yellow.
Reversing the power flow to the machine should allow you to release the last soul trapped inside.
And again, all the while avoiding lighting the red squares. Okay. So there we go. It's now yellow. We can now release the soul.
Detected in Fathom headquarters. Sending security to apprehend the suspect. You trigger the device. It sparks, and a familiar form suddenly materializes.
And now you just talk to the knee sliding Doris.
Who is now Isabet.
Yeah. After you do that, you can pull this purple lever, which is the one we needed to progress further, along with a green one.
Yeah, so there we go.
Releasing her soul has given her a new body. But you doubt that the real Doris will be happy with this news.
Did you see purple?
An elf with an unseen smile stretched across his long face.
So, like the other one, with the crayfish, we have these guys with the little orbs on their head. However, unlike the other ones, we're gonna have to actually fight them. So it's gonna be fight after fight, and as you see, it does lock you in here. So there are a total of 3 fights that we gotta deal with. And of course some add-ons as well. Yeah, as you can see, I do recommend killing the trash add-ons, as they can add up real quick. all the while fighting, obviously, the big bad bosses. And there we go. So once he dies, as you notice, we did get ourselves a nice little chest. And it also unlocks the lever here on the far back wall.
Whereas the owlbear was standing, you cannot actually get to the lever to target it. If you try, it'll just say the lever is locked, or the lever is locked.
Yeah. So it's actually a little bit of both. And here we go. And then of course our loot. Now this chest, as it is not the end chest, is just random loot, so don't bother re-rolling or anything like that.
Now, as you see, the green and the purple crystal is lit up.
Yeah, we're just going back for Doris. We got too far away.
Yeah, she can be a little finicky. But to be fair, if you suddenly got plopped into a body you weren't familiar with, you too would be a little jet lagged.
Oh, for sure. Alright, so yeah, as he was mentioning, both these are now lit up, so we can unlock, pull our lever, which will
Now,
take us into our end fight.
Yes, this is the point of no return, Shrine, because regardless of if you're full spell points or not, just always try to Shrine. Especially if it's a user-lose Shrine.
So yeah, it's one of those, again, you can't come back to this location, so there's no real harm in not trying. Obviously, if you really don't need to, then you don't need to, but if you're down any of your abilities or spell points, again, no harm in it.
And in this boss fight, you're going to be fighting two creatures. You're going to be fighting the Scientist, and you're going to be fighting a Warforged Titan. It's recommended to take down the Scientist first, as she is an Artificer in style. She does kind of Rune Arm, Magic Missile Blasts, and they can hurt. She also summons in trash mobs, one of which being Prismatic Hounds. And the CC on those things can really add up and really start to hurt a character. Other than that, it's pretty much just a beatdown. The Warforged Titan moves kind of slow, so it's not too much of an issue. On the left and right, you see some puzzles. Those will come into play a little bit after the fight.
There's the Titan there.
Oh, nope, you have to fight the Titan first.
Honestly, the biggest issue with the Titan, as you see, is that kind of arm cannon he's got. It can dish out some pretty beastly damage.
And this is why it's important to have some form of Magic Missile immunity, as that shot he's dealing is almost entirely Magic Missile.
Well, it is force damage, it's not magic missile.
Oh, okay. It looked like he was shooting out magic missiles at me. My bad.
Yeah, it is force damage, but as
If
you
you
guys
have
see, we do have Alright, so now once he gets almost down, here we go with all those extra add-ons. And this is gonna hurt. So at this point, definitely recommend taking out trash. I know that the Titan is almost down, but with all the extra guys inside, it's just a hellscape.
And unfortunately, Doris is unable to help you for any of the fights. Or Isabel.
Alright, so there we go. Now it does keep spawning in the trash. I believe there's a little bit more.
Until she, up above us, is dead.
Yeah. So there we go. The Titan is down. Once the Titan is down, it does spawn in our last boss here. And again, just a straight beat down. And as you can see, she is spawning in some trash. And a lovely Reaper to deal with as well. There we go. So as you notice, once they die, it does bring in a resurrection shrine here at the door for any fallen members who have, well, didn't make it out. As well, at this point we can, we're still fighting. Who's stuck? Oh no, apparently they are not stuck. Alright.
Over here by me, there is a lever. Soul
Yes.
repository system control.
So yeah, as you mentioned there, you are going to want to head in here. And we do have some valves and levers.
So, this will be entirely for Valagar. I will need you to connect up to the blue.
Yeah. So the
On
way
both
this one
sides.
works here is you'll notice it has 2 blue, 2 yellow. You got to connect the blues to light that one, so this one unlocks. Yellows to light this one to unlock this one. And then once they're both unlit, we can pull this last lever here, valve here.
Yep. Blue is for returning a blue is for removing a soul, I believe, and yellow is for returning a soul. As what will happen is Isabeth, her soul will be removed from Doris and placed elsewhere, while as Doris's soul will be removed from elsewhere and placed back into her correct body.
And of course, while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're not lighting up those red tunnels or red sections, as those are again traps. And you know what? We're gonna get her over here. All right. So there's our blue. So as you'll notice, actually, just didn't light up the blue.
Both sides.
Yeah, but usually it lights up the one rune in there. So if you watch any of my other puzzling videos, you'll notice I always start at the very end. Truthfully, I just find it works easier to start at the back, working your way forward. Oh. So you'll notice there what happens when you when you light the incorrect one, as I have done. It does spawn in a wave of enemies, gives you a little bit of zap. So yeah, you definitely want to avoid the red circles. That was completely my bad. I was not paying attention. You also notice it reverts a lot of these to a different state again. So you almost have to restart the whole puzzle. Alright, so don't need those connected. That one's connected. Alright, so this time we'll be good. So there's our
Then if
blue.
you come over here and pull the tiny lever,
So we'll see, as you guys see, that one's set. Now it's going to move over to the
then
next
you pull
one.
the big lever.
Now we got to light up the yellows. So again, first thing you might want to do is turn off the power. As before you start messing with them, definitely helps to make sure you're not touching those red ones. So here we go. So there's the yellow. Again, there's the yellow. Now, same thing here. We're going to pull this one, which will lock that one into place. Finally, pulling the big one here in the middle. And there we go. So Doris is first in the dog. We'll talk to him. Or her.
Oh dear.
And then it asks for a more suitable form.
Now you'd come over here. You do have the option now to talk to the prototype soul splitter.
Ah, yes. Here we go. No. We just gotta wait for the conversation to end. So yeah, we're just waiting on a new body. So we can... Why do I not remember what we're supposed to do now? Alright,
Come
so
back.
yeah, I think...
So it is this slice, but you have to switch it back to blue.
Yeah. And then we're gonna extract Doris' soul from the Iron Defender. killing the defender, switching it back to yellow, and we can now interact again. And we now put Doris into the Titan. From here,
Just
talk
break
to
everything.
them, and yeah, just smash. So you just want to smash the fence.
Now, as you do this, something will happen. The laboratory will begin to fill with water. Thanks to the Lord of the Blades himself.
And
And you
Doris.
actually want to come over to where I am standing. This device will open up a D door, and you do have to use it as this is something that you can get stuck behind.
And there we go. So once we're done, we do want to talk to the wizard here. And quest complete. So as you see, even there, it still did take us 40 minutes. So it is a long quest, even going through the fast method. And then finally, our end loot. Now the end loot here, you can get some really nice gear. As you see, we got the gloves there. I'm also going to reroll here and see what we can get. A nice little body there. Docent. Alright, so that's it for me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you were you're able to make it through a little bit better than we were. And I do hope that the explanation does help you out a lot. So the main things, again, those points. When you get in, check the calendar, see what day it is. Then you're going to want to head over to the lab assistant's office. Kill him there. And then look at the schedule. It'll tell you where in the map he is located. And then you're going to want to head there. Take him out. Get the code. And then finally head into the abandoned experiments wing. Make your way through that little bit of a maze. Grab the levers. And then once you're done, head to the end. Solve the puzzle. So it is a little bit of a rough puzzle at the end, as you saw. Even it did stump us here a little bit. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a blast, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.